There once was a man who was so powerful that he was able to hijack an aircraft and steal $50,000. He disappeared into the wind.
Ooh.
He later became the senator of Texas, known as Ted Cruz.
Speaking of, did you hear that the FBI positively identified the Zodiac killer? It was who they were suspecting. It's Gary Francis Pope.
No, when was this?
Just the other day. They are 100% sure.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Gary Francis Pope, huh?
I can't believe Ted Cruz would pin these gruesome murders on a ex-veteran, like on a veteran. I can't believe that. But yeah, no. It's...
Group claims FBI identified Zodiac killer as Air Force veteran. So they don't know. I mean, it says, maybe it's him.
I don't know.
Let's see. FBI has identified Zodiac. I don't know, man. It seems kind of sus.
I can't believe they'd pin it on an Air Force veteran.
Yeah. That just shows how anti-American the FBI is. And you know what?
Ted Cruz would do this?
I'm fucking sick and tired of it. All right? Sick and tired of it. Welcome to Hot Graves and Omens.
Welcome.
My name is Fred Stewart. It's me. Hi. Hello. With me, as always, my lovely co-host, Tay.
Hi.
Hello, Tay.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm going on week 4 of being sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been better, honestly.
Damn, that's crazy. Drinking a gin and tonic. That's crazy. And with us, running camera, running sound, is Marty Cowick.
We put Marty in the doll.
Marty, you
can't.
Do something with your hair. So Marty has to go take care of some prior obligations that I guess he forgot about. So our stand-in today is Chester. That's the nickname we're giving him right now. We don't have a name for our clown. We should definitely get him a name. Maybe y'all can help us vote with a name.
Yeah.
What do you think we should name our doll?
I don't know. Chester's pretty good.
Is Chester the clown?
But if there are any suggestions that we like more, then we might just go with those.
Chester, how you feeling today? I just have such a fun time with my friends. It's scary stories. Okay, that's cool, buddy. Like anything else going on in your life? I consume the flesh, eat the soul. Okay, yeah, that's cool, man.
I love how much shit you gave me for getting him, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny because you hate dolls and you hate clowns.
I don't like dolls. I despise dolls. Don't like clowns. I'm better with clowns than I used to be. But something about him,
well, it's because he's probably fucking possessed.
Well,
and if he is, then
he's just been hanging out, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. What if the ghost that's inhabiting Chester over there is actually like a big fan of podcasts, and he's like actually,
this is pretty dope.
These people are actually kind of baller.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like,
hopefully that'd be cool.
I don't know. I just think that
Chester, if you're haunted, please move. Damn it, bro. That would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy. Unfortunately,
I
don't think he's going to.
I don't know. If he starts blinking, I'll let you know.
I will say the one time that we came in here and he was like flipped around, I was like, excuse me. And then I found out you did it. I was like, that is not the thing to be playing around with. I was like, please don't fucking do that. Because I was like, why is he turned around? Who did this?
Me, bitch.
I was like, that could be real bad.
So today's episode, or today's drink for this week's episode, is going to be a gin and tonic. It's classy. It's simple. It's fundamentally the best drink you can have. And honestly, I feel like just an absolute G when I drink gin and tonics. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, it's Gatorade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
It's because she's a Mormon. Now, last week we covered the basic premise of D.B. Cooper.
Yes.
Talked about how the hijacking. We talked about his reaction towards things, how he acquired the money during the hijacking, and then his inevitable escape, along with how the FBI surprisingly surprise, surprise, dropped the fucking ball and lost all the evidence.
That's never happened. I don't understand.
This has never happened a day in the FBI's life. Now, this week, we're going to be diving into what the sketches and kind of the people that we think might be I almost said the Zodiac might be DB Cooper.
Yeah,
I'm getting
so
confused. It's time for the Zodiac Killer.
I confused you. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about like the list.
Gaslighting me. I'm fucking losing it, man.
We're gonna talk about like the list of like people that have been suspected over the years, and then I think you'll have your own like theory as well.
For sure.
That we didn't quite get to last time because this is a long fucking podcast.
It's a long series. Yeah.
So.
It's a 2-part series. We've been doing a lot of those lately.
Well,
but don't worry, our next
of
series will be super violent.
With what?
What we're covering.
Oh.
Don't worry, it's super, super fucked up and violent.
Oh, I don't even know what we're covering next. So this will be a surprise for me too. Are you ready?
Should I just tell you?
You can, or you can tell me afterwards so we don't spoil it.
No official date on when it's going to come out yet because I'm working on some other episodes. So we're going to have to have some people come on and do some guest spots on the pod. So it'll be kind of fun. Do a little more fun episodes.
Yeah.
But I'm working on an episode of Henry Lee Lucas. So, and Henry Lucas and why am I forgetting his name? Jerry Brudos.
Ooh.
Those are the two that I'm working on currently.
Okay.
So isn't that fun?
I mean, I don't think fun is the word I would use to describe it.
Put off their feet and fucking kill myself. That's my impression of Jerry Brudos.
Well, are you ready to?
I'm ready to get into it.
All right.
Check out our cool sign. Oh, look at that! Isn't that cool? It's floating. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that sign floats? Isn't that fucking like bizarre? And watch. It's gone. Ready? Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Shit, dog.
Cool.
What's up, dude? You won't see this shit with fucking Marty on cameras, dude. It's just me right now, dog. You know what I'm saying? All right.
All right. So we're gonna hop into the sketches. During the first year of the investigation, the FBI used
sketch comedy.
I don't know why that got me so bad.
Okay, you be an FBI agent, and I'll be a guy hijacking a plane. Lose all the evidence, let me go.
You know what? That sounds like a freaking
that's the left sketch comedy. All right.
So the FBI used eyewitness testimony from the passengers and flight crew to develop sketches of Cooper. The first sketch, officially titled Composite A, they're very creative with their titling, was completed a few days after the hijacking was released on November 28th of 1971. According to witnesses, the Composite A sketch, jokingly known as Bing Crosby, was not an accurate likeness of Cooper. The Composite A sketch, said witnesses, showed a young man with a narrow face and did not resemble Cooper or capture his disinterested, quote, let's get this over with look. Flight attendant Florence Schaffner repeatedly told the FBI that Composite A sketch was a very poor likeness of Cooper.
Meanwhile, the guy who was like went to fucking art school, composite sketch, it's like, I thought it was pretty good. I thought I did a good job. I don't. What do you think?
It doesn't look like him at all.
I can't believe you would say that.
After multiple eyewitnesses said Composite A was not an accurate rendering, FBI artists developed a second composite sketch completed in late 1972. They took a whole year to make another sketch.
Goes, this will be my true masterpiece. This will be my Mona Lisa of plane hijackers.
I feel like composites do not take a whole year. So they have this one sketch that's out there for a whole year of like, hey, this doesn't even look like the guy. So no one's looking for the right guy. And then they're like,
excuse me, as I fix cameras.
I'm like, now it's a year later. This is what he actually looks like.
You're telling me he's not 3 raccoons in a trench coat?
He is not. But he does have flashlights taped to the side of his head.
It's fucking Mothman. He's back. Oh, dude. Shout out to Mothman.
Shout out to Mothman.
Shout out to West Virginia. Shout out to coal mines. TNT mines. TNT facilities.
I don't remember what it was. It was like
TNT factory. TNT factory.
It was something
That's what it was. I fucking know. I know my cryptids. Mothman's thinking about them goddamn beans, brother. I want to make another show for the. This is getting off topic, but I want to make another show for the network just called Beyond the Graves or Beyond the Omens.
Yeah.
Where it's haunts, graves, and omens, but it's just. But it's just basically the doc where I can talk about like cryptids and aliens for like a rambling psychopath for an hour. That's what I want to do.
That'd be fun.
What do you think?
So the second composite B sketch was intended to accurately depict Cooper's age, skin tone, and face shape. Eyewitnesses to whom composite B was shown to said the sketch was much more accurate, but the composite B Cooper looked too angry or nasty. One flight attendant said the composite B sketch looked like a, quote, hoodlum, and remembered Cooper in a more refined appearance. Moreover, said witnesses, the composite B sketch depicted a man older than Cooper with a lighter complexion. So none of their sketches looked very, very good. Mm-hmm. Using the criticisms of composite B, FBI artists made adjustments and improvements to the composite B sketch. On January 2nd of 1973, the FBI finalized the revised composite B, which was their third sketch of Cooper. Of the new sketch, one flight attendant said the revised composite B was a very close resemblance to the hijacker. And another flight attendant said the hijacker would be easily recognized from this sketch. In April of 1973, the FBI concluded the revised composite B sketch was the best likeliness of Cooper that they could develop and consider the most definitive sketch of Cooper. Flight attendants Schaffner and Mucklau, who spent the most time interacting with Cooper, were interviewed on the same night in separate cities, giving nearly identical descriptions. Around 5'10", tall, mid-40s, short, black hair that was combed back, 170 to 180 pounds, swarthy or olive skin tone with no discernible accent. The only person to recall his eye color, however, was Schaffner, who described them as being brown.
He had really nice eyes. I just thought, it's kind of weird. But he's so handsome. I'm just kind of looking at him. And I was like, maybe going for a kiss? Maybe. No. He's got a bomb. He's got a bomb, and so I'm not doing that. Never mind. But maybe going for a kiss, maybe.
Probably not a good idea, right?
Probably not a good idea.
So the FBI relied heavily on the testimony of University of Oregon student Bill Mitchell, who sat across from Cooper during the 3 hours between takeoff in Portland and landing in Seattle.
God, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah. Half-hour flight turns into 3 hours.
Literally could have drove to SeaTac by then.
Yep. Exactly.
Fuck me.
Repeatedly interviewing him for what would be known as the composite B sketch. His descriptions of Cooper were mostly the same as the flight attendants, except he described Cooper as being somewhat smaller.
He was just a little guy.
He says that he was 5'9" to 5'10", which is about what they also described. So I don't understand why they're saying that he said he was smaller by an inch.
He was. Have you seen Willy Wonka? Are you familiar with Oompa Loompas?
So apparently, one of the descriptions of Cooper said that he was 6'2". Sorry, I'm reading this wrong. So the man was 6'2", and he was, quote, way bigger than Cooper, and even referred to him as slight. Robert Gregory, one of the only other passengers besides Mitchell to provide FBI with a full description of Cooper, also provided a shorter impression of Cooper, describing him as 5'9", which is not that short.
No.
They're like, he's tiny man.
He was just a tiny little guy. He's just so fucking itty bitty.
He's 5'9".
Like he just over here, just like. Look at that. That's pretty tiny.
That's exactly Cooper's height right there.
Same height. It's actually crazy. Look at it. Here's a shot of Taylor drinking Gatorade. There's me. There's Marty. There's a wide shot.
Hello.
There's me. There's Taylor. There's Marty. There's me. There's Taylor. Mite. If you're listening to this on the audio platform, you have no idea what the fuck you're watching. So go to YouTube, Comedy Chaos Network. Watch this.
But yeah, I like how they're just like, he's so tiny.
So little.
He's such a little man. He's not that short.
Well, the thing about Cooper, a lot of people don't know, is that he actually curled up into a ball onto a seat and stretched his little arms out. A little stretch. And they're like, oh.
A little stretchy.
This is a big stretch. It's cute. And then he's just like, oh, fucking do it. I'll fucking do it. Anyway.
So Gregory stated that he believed Cooper to be of Mexican American or Native American descent. Cooper appeared to be familiar with the Seattle area and may have been an Air Force veteran based on testimony that he recognized the city of Tacoma from the air as the jet circled Puget Sound, and his accurate comment to Mucklow that McChord Air Force Base was about 20 minutes driving time from SeaTac, which is a detail most civilians would not know or comment upon. His financial situation was likely very desperate. According to the FBI's retired chief investigator, Ralph Himmelsbach, extortionists and other criminals who steal large amounts of money nearly always do so because they need it urgently. Otherwise, the crime is not worth the considerable risk. Alternatively, Cooper may have been a thrill seeker who made the jump just to prove it could be done.
True. You know, that's what I think about every time someone hijacks a plane. I go, they just wanted to do it. They're not actually out for anything. They just need the attention. But if you don't give them the attention, they won't do it.
I don't think that's how that works.
It is how that works.
I don't think that's how that works. But what do I know? I've never hijacked a plane, so. So in May 1973, the FBI internally released an 8-page suspect profile. The profile speculated that Cooper was a military-trained parachutist and not a sports skydiver because, in addition, his apparent comfort level with the military-style chutes was provided. His age would have made him an outlier in the sports skydiving community, thereby increasing the likelihood that he would have been recognized by a member of that community. The profile also speculated that Cooper was someone who exercised regularly due to comments by multiple eyewitnesses regarding Cooper's athletic-looking frame despite his age. Because, you know, once you turn 40, you just can't look athletic, I guess.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm almost 30, and I've seen me without a shirt on. So, anyway, Marty Coward.
So they also felt that he was not a heavy drinker or alcoholic because the one drink he was served was quickly spilled and he never requested another.
Imagine drinking.
As you take a sip of your gin and tonic. Never.
I definitely don't have another one waiting in the side fridge either.
So the profile determined that an alcoholic would likely have been incapable of turning down further alcoholic beverages throughout the stressful and lengthy hijacking. By calculating the number of cigarettes he smoked during the hijacking, though, the FBI believed that he smoked around 1 pack of cigarettes a day. Several of Cooper's mannerisms led the FBI to conclude that he was more intelligent than a common criminal due to his vocabulary level, his proper use of aviation, not avian, that's a bird, aviation-related terminology.
The lesser-known cockatiel is famous for its feathers that exist on top of its head. It was just a funny little thing. Isn't that funny? Anyway, is the money here yet? You know, penguins don't have knees.
They do have.
Oh, they do have knees, rather?
Yeah, they do have knees.
I'm sorry, I'm getting so frazzled over this this being a part of an avian hijacker or whatever you said.
So he also had a complete lack of profane language, his calm demeanor, his style of dress, and the respect he showed for the female members of the crew. Cooper's ability to quickly and competently adapt to various situations as they arose indicated to profilers that he was likely to be the type of person who would commit a crime without the need or desire for an accomplice. Agents theorized that Cooper took an alias from the popular French-language Belgian comics featuring the fictional hero Dan Cooper, who was a Royal Canadian Air Force test pilot who took part in numerous heroic adventures, including parachuting. Because the Dan Cooper comics were never translated into English nor imported to the U.S., they speculated that he encountered them during a tour of duty in Europe, which is very possible.
Very, very possible. I always look up to, I'm a big Dan Cooper fan. A lot of people don't know that.
Of course, yes.
Yes, the French Canadian. Like, go out the plane there, go parachuting. I don't fucking know anything about Dan Cooper.
I mean,
except that he's a Royal Canadian Air Force pilot who took part in numerous heroic adventures,
including parachuting.
That's what I was gonna say. Dude, I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Based on the evidence and Cooper's tactics, the FBI speculated Cooper carefully planned the hijacking and had detailed, specific knowledge of aviation, the local terrain, and the 727's capabilities. Cooper chose a seat in the last row of the rear cabin for 3 reasons. To observe and respond to any action in front of him, to minimize the possibility of being approached or attacked by someone behind him, and to make himself less conspicuous to the rest of the passengers. I'm dying over here.
See, you just gotta power through, man.
I know, I'm trying.
Ow, my knees.
Power through.
Fuck off.
So,
that's my joke.
To ensure he would not deliberately be supplied with sabotaged equipment, Cooper demanded 4 parachutes to force the assumption that he might compel 1 or more hostages to jump with him. FBI agent Ralph Himmelsbach noted Cooper's choice of a bomb instead of other weapons previously used by hijackers thwarted any multi-directional attempts to rush him. Cooper was also careful to avoid leaving evidence. Before he jumped, he demanded McLeod return to him all notes, whether written by him or on his behalf. McLeod said she used the last match in his matchbook to light one of his cigarettes. When she attempted to dispose of the empty matchbook, he demanded she return it to him. Although he was methodical in his attempts to retrieve evidence, he was not completely successful as he left his clip-on tie in his seat. He also left 8 cigarette butts. So, he got a lot of his evidence, but not all of it. But it didn't really matter anyways because a lot of it was lost or destroyed.
Damn.
Good job,
That's
FBI.
crazy. That's crazy.
I know, it's never happened. Although Cooper was clearly familiar with the 727's capabilities and confidential features, its design was the primary reason Cooper chose the aircraft. With its back air stair and the placement of its 3 engines, the 727 was the only passenger jet from which a parachute jump could be easily made. Cooper also knew the 727 had a single-point fueling, which was a new feature in that all the fuel tanks could be rapidly filled through a single fuel port. And he was familiar with the 727's typical refueling time.
Which plays into my general theory that once we get into kind of general suspects, I'll go into it of who I think Cooper was. I think I talked about briefly in the last episode as well, but there's some key pieces to this that are like it's a little sketch. Like not sketch, but it's more like you can narrow it down pretty in depth.
Yeah. So by specifying a 15-degree flap setting, Cooper displayed specific knowledge of aviation tactics, and the 727's capabilities. Unlike most commercial jet airliners, the 727 could remain in slow, low-altitude flight without stalling. Cooper's specific flap setting also allowed him to control the 727's airspeed and altitude without entering the cockpit, where Cooper could have been overpowered by the three pilots. First Officer Bill Radasak, who spoke with Cooper on the intercom during the hijacking, told the FBI, quote, Cooper displayed a specific knowledge of flying an aircraft in general. I'm dying. We're good. What's that face for? What are you making that face? What are you making that face for? I'm sorry, I'm dying. It's fine.
Sure about that?
So the most significant knowledge Cooper displayed was a feature both secret and unique to the 727, which was that the air stair could be open during flight and that the single activation switch in the rear cabin could not be overridden from the cockpit. Cooper knew how to operate the aft staircase and had clearly planned to use it for his escape. The FBI speculated Cooper knew the CIA was using 727s to drop agents and supplies into enemy territory during the Vietnam War. Since no situation on a passenger flight would necessitate such an operation, civilian crews were neither informed that the air stair could be lowered mid-flight, nor were they aware its operation could not be overridden from the cockpit. So people just didn't know that, but he did.
Yep. Like I said, it's going to play into my theory later on.
Man, honestly, this man he's very smart. He knows a lot about planes.
We got away.
He is truly the biggest plane guy.
I'm going to say the biggest plane guy. I know some stuff,
For his time, he might have been the biggest plane guy.
No, I don't think so.
For his time.
I think it's me.
In the 1970s, you were the biggest plane guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna fucking ask me a question about planes right now, dude.
I don't know enough about planes.
Ask me just any question about a plane.
How do they fly?
They just fucking do it, man. He's the power of God, dude. They just start fucking going, then they get plucked.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You know what the fuck.
So Cooper appeared to be familiar with parachutes, though his experience level is unknown. Mucklow said Cooper, quote, appeared to be completely familiar with the parachutes which had been furnished to him, and told the journalist Cooper put on his parachute as though he did so every day. Cooper's familiarity, again, with the military-style parachutes has led a lot of people to speculate he was not a civilian skydiver, because they're a little bit different, I suppose. A little bit. I feel like the military ones are probably harder to get on. I feel like
probably. I mean,
fair assessment.
I imagine they're set up very similar to each other. I can't imagine they're much different.
But like probably different enough.
I'll look into it.
Larry Carr, who led the investigative team from 2006 to 2009, does not believe Cooper was a paratrooper. Instead, Carr speculates Cooper had been an Air Force aircraft cargo loader. An aircraft cargo loading assignment would have provided him with aviation knowledge and experience. Cargo loaders have basic jump training, wear emergency parachutes, and know how to dispatch items from planes in flight. As a cargo loader, Cooper would have been familiar with parachutes, quote, but not necessarily sufficient knowledge in how to survive the jump he made.
Yeah, and then you look at like Lewis McCord, where he was pointing out mid-flight. I know for a fact Lewis McCord, they run C-17s now, which are like giant cargo aircraft. Yeah. And I'm sure that's been around for a very long time, running different aircraft. I know for a fact they ran different aircraft back in the day, like the old shaky and shit like that. But jump loaders and like these guys like that is one of them, another key job on Lewis McCord. So
he absolutely would have
definitely in my opinion, worked there and was stationed there. That was his job.
Yeah, depending on what he did is, I think, a bit unspecified, whether he was a cargo loader or if he had another job, as paratrooper or whatever he did. But I definitely think he was at some point stationed on that base. So from the beginning of their investigation, the FBI was skeptical about Cooper's chances and speculated that he did not survive the jump. The FBI provided several reasons and facts to support their conclusion, such as his lack of skydiving experience, his apparent unfamiliarity with parachutes, his lack of proper equipment for his jump and survival, the inclement weather on the night of the hijacking, the wooded terrain into which he jumped, and his lack of knowledge of his landing area and the unused ransom money. Although the FBI is kind of wrong because he obviously did have some familiarity with parachutes and skydiving.
The FBI has never been wrong except for all the times they are absolutely super wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So they say that Cooper appeared to lack the necessary skydiving knowledge, skills, and experience for the type of jump that he attempted. Quote, "We originally thought Cooper was an experienced jumper, perhaps even a paratrooper. We concluded after a few years that this was simply not true. No experienced parachutist would have jumped into the pitch black night in the rain with 172 mile per hour wind in his face, wearing loafers and a trench coat. It was simply too risky. Although, honestly, if your chances are, so you're flying and you've just hijacked a plane, you've just stolen a bunch of money from the government, and the moment you land in Reno, you're done.
Yeah.
You might make some choices that don't seem rational."
Oh, really? That's shocking. No. He seems so rational to bring a bomb on board of a commercial flight.
I mean, he does seem like very like almost not rational in a sense, but like, I don't know.
He knew what the fuck he was doing.
No, he knew
he had every inkling. He knew exactly what he was doing.
So the conditions are not ideal, but at the same time, he knows that plane lands in Reno, he's done. Like, I think you might make the chance of like, it's not a great idea, but if I do it, I might survive and I might have a bunch of money now. So skydiving instructor Earl Cossey, who supplied the parachutes, testified Cooper did not need extensive experience to survive the jump. And, quote, "Anyone who had 6 or 7 practice jumps could accomplish this." However, Cossey also noted jumping at night drastically increased the risk of injury, and without jump boots, Cooper probably suffered a severe ankle or leg injury upon landing. So even skydiving instructor was like, "Y'all are fucking stupid." He could do it.
Yeah.
Like, so they say that also Cooper did not have the equipment necessary for his jump or his survival in the wilderness. Cooper had failed to bring or request a helmet and jumped into a 15-degree wind at 10,000 feet in November over Washington State without proper protection against extreme wind chill. Although the contents of Cooper's 4-inch by 12-inch by 14-inch paper bag are unknown, Cooper did not use any of the bag's contents to assist him in any part of the hijacking, so the FBI speculated that the bag contained items that he would need for his jump, such as boots, gloves, and goggles. So they don't really know that he didn't have all the stuff he needed. They just guessed. They're like,
Yeah. They clearly, the FBI has no fucking idea what he had and didn't have.
No, they don't.
No, he walked on board of a commercial flight with a goddamn bomb. Do you think they know whether or not he had boots, gloves, and goggles? No.
Absolutely not.
Jinx. You owe me.
Not my kidney.
A kidney.
A kidney? You wanna explain where I'm just supposed to get a kidney?
Nope. Let's continue.
Okay. All right. So third, they say that Cooper did not appear to have an accomplice waiting on the ground to help him escape. Granted, they don't fucking know that. Such an arrangement would have required both a precisely timed jump and the flight crew's cooperation to follow a predetermined flight path. But Cooper did not give a specific flight path. Moreover, the flight crew proposed and Cooper agreed to alter the flight path and fly from Seattle to Reno for refueling. And Cooper had no way of keeping an accomplice apprised of his changed plans. The low cloud cover and lack of visibility to the ground further complicated Cooper's ability to see his location, establish a bearing, or see his landing zone. And then the biggest reason that they think Cooper did not make his jump was that the ransom money was never spent. And then the recovered portion was found completely unused. Quote, diving into the wilderness without a plan, without the right equipment, in such terrible conditions, he probably never even got his chute open. And that is according to Carr. FBI agent Richard Tosaw theorized Cooper became incapacitated from hypothermia during his jump and landed in the Columbia River and drowned. However, FBI agents were not unanimous in their assessment of Cooper's ultimate fate. A senior FBI agent anonymously opinioned in a 1976 article in the Seattle Times, quote, I think Cooper made it. I think he slept in his own bed that night. It was a clear night. A lot of the country is pretty flat. He could have just walked right down the road. Hell, they weren't even looking for him there at the time. They thought he was somewhere else. But he could have just walked down the street.
Yeah, also, that country is not necessarily pretty flat.
No,
I've grown up out there. It's not flat. You're absolutely wrong, sir. It's a lot of rolling hills, a lot of fucking trees.
Yeah.
But, hey, you know what? You just keep believing. But I think he made it out. I think that whether he got stuck in a tree or something like that, he was smart enough to figure a fucking way out. Even if he busted his leg, he was probably smart enough to be like, all right, I can just split my leg and we can get out of here.
Yeah, honestly, I think the most likely thing that happened is that maybe during the jump he lost the money, and that's why it was never used.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
He jumped, he lost the money during his jump, but he survived. So that would make sense on why the money is completely unused, that why there was none. Like, that to me makes the most sense.
Yeah, totally.
Or he just hijacked the plane and say he could do it, and then decided, I'm not even going to use the fucking money.
Yeah, maybe. maybe he was just like, I did it just to do it.
Yeah.
Got away with it.
It very well could be that he was just like, I might as well. Let's see if I can do it. Joke's on you, I can do it.
Yeah, totally.
So, conclusive evidence of Cooper's death has not been found. In the months following Cooper's hijacking, 5 men attempted copycat hijackings, and all 5 survived their parachute escapes. The survival of the copycats, several of whom faced circumstances and conditions similar to Cooper's jump, forced FBI lead case agent Ralph Himmelsbach to reevaluate his opinions and theories regarding Cooper's chance for survival. Himmelsbach cited 3 examples of hijackers who survived jumps in conditions similar to Cooper's escape: Martin McNally, Frederick Hahnemann, and Richard LaPointe.
And Richard LaPointe is known for just going like this.
He LaPointin'.
You don't want to know what the fuck Hahnemann's about.
So hijacker Martin McNally jumped using only a reserve chute without protective gear at night over Indiana. Unlike Cooper, who appeared familiar with parachutes, McNally had to be shown how to put on his parachute. Additionally, McNally's pilot increased the airspeed to 320 knots, twice the airspeed of Flight 305 at the time of Cooper's jump. The increased wind speed caused a violent jump for McNally, and the money bag was immediately torn from him, yet he landed unharmed except for some superficial scratches and bruises.
Damn, dude. That's crazy.
So, 49-year-old Frederick Hahnemann hijacked a 727 in Pennsylvania and survived jumping at night into a Honduran jungle which is an insane sentence to read.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot to read. And then the third copycat, Richard LaPointe, hijacked a 727 in Nevada, wearing only trousers, a shirt, and cowboy boots. Hell yeah. LaPointe jumped into the freezing January wind over northern Colorado and landed in the snow. And then 2008, Himmelsbach admitted he initially thought Cooper had only a 50% chance of survival, but subsequently revised his assessment.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, he very likely fucking survived. But I think what happened to him is what happened to Martin McNally, where the money bag he dropped it or it got ripped out of his hands or whatever happened.
I think it's like a 90-10. I think it's like 9% chance that he survived, 10% chance he died.
Yeah. I would agree with that, yeah.
The chances of him being dead, like, from the jump are incredibly low, but
yeah.
Never know.
So by 1976, most published legal analysis concurred that the impending expiration of the statute of limitations for prosecution of the hijacker would make little difference, since the statute's interpretation varies case to case and from court to court. A prosecutor could argue that Cooper had forfeited legal immunity on several valid technical grounds. In November 1976, a Portland grand jury returned an indictment in absentia, however the fuck you say it. Absentia? Yeah, that sounds about more right.
Absentia. Do you have a weird itch that you can't just get rid of? Just keep sneaking up on you. And you're like, I love being here with my family. Ah! Absentia. Maybe for you. Anyway, they made this like a base for an absentee against John Doe, aka Dan Cooper, for air piracy and the violation of the Hobbs Act. Not they're hobbling around. The indictment formally indicated the prosecution to be continued should the hijacker be apprehended at any time in the future. So basically made the court case that way when they do snag him, they can just immediately throw him in.
That's kind of neat. That's kind of a cool idea.
Is it though? Is it cool, Tay? Letting the federal government just fucking watch us always, just in case that he does pop back up, dude. What are they gonna do? Fucking arrest a dead body?
They're never gonna find him. They're never gonna find him.
They're never gonna find me.
Okay. So between 1971 and 2016, the FBI processed more than 1,000 serious suspects, included assorted publicity seekers and deathbed confessors.
And before we get into that, I just want to talk about my general theory of who this person was. I think D.B. Cooper most likely served in Vietnam at some point, just given his knowledge of the 727s being used in Vietnam. I think that he was part of the Air Force at McChord Air Force Base, maybe a jump master, maybe worked with that, had the general knowledge of how that works, the speeds that are safe to travel at when you're in the air. And then once he got out of the military, whether from injury or what have you, he then went to go work for Boeing, right? Mm-hmm. Started working directly with these aircraft, which is why he had all those weird materials on his tie that's only found with Boeing. Mm-hmm. And that's why he knew where, he drove to Portland. Maybe he lived in Portland because there's a Boeing out here. Maybe he worked in the Boeing facility out here. Maybe he knew how far Lewis McChord was from SeaTac. It makes a lot of sense. A lot of things are making sense. And maybe just because of his prior knowledge of being a jump master and things like that with the Air Force, he knew everything kind of comes together. And then I think the bomb itself, I don't think it was an actual bomb.
Probably not.
I think it was a fake bomb, and I don't think it was legit. I don't think he fucking knew actually had a wire bomb correctly, because usually those dudes explode. So I think that he was a local. I think he lived out here just across the river. He lived most likely within the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense. And there's a general theory that he actually did survive his jump in Washougal, was picked up by a friend, or stole a vehicle, got to Fort Vancouver Field, right? The airfield.
Yeah.
Got there somehow, or got to a different airfield. His buddy picked him up in an aircraft. They took the money and they ditched it in the Vancouver Lake area. And then they just were like, well, we'll just go to fucking Troutdale. And then they went and flew to Troutdale, and then they got off, and then he just disappeared. And he goes, we'll come back for that money eventually. They never came back. Yeah. So that's my theory.
Okay. That's a pretty good theory. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm on a similar boat. I definitely think he either at some point worked at Lewis McChord or was stationed there. Mm-hmm. But I definitely think he was a local, probably working at the Portland Boeing. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I mean, a lot of the same things. I'm either, I don't know, I'm kind of like hit or miss on whether he actually had the money as he came down or whether it got like ripped out his hands or whatever, and it just fell somewhere.
Yeah, I think he definitely dropped some of that money. I don't think he kept all that money on the drop.
No,
not a chance. I mean, maybe if he did, or that he landed like up near like Hamilton Mountain, which is in Washougal area, which is kind of near that flight path, and he could have just got up there and been like, "Fuck it, I'll just come back for it," and then just never did, and it's up there just rotting away. So go find DB Cooper's money.
Go find DB Cooper's money.
Give me some.
So we're going to get into the people, the like list of more serious suspects out of the full 1,000 that they have looked into.
That first sentence is wild, though.
Yeah. So Ted Braden, or Theodore Burdett Braden Jr., was a Special Forces commando during the Vietnam War, a master skydiver, and a convicted felon. He was believed by many within the Special Forces community, both at the time of the hijacking and subsequent years, to have been Cooper. He was born in Ohio, and he first joined the military at the age of 16 in 1944, serving in the 104th Airborne during World War II. He eventually became one of the military's leading parachutists, often representing the Army in international skydiving tournaments, and his military records list him as having made 911 jumps. That's a lot of fucking jumps.
911. Yeah. 911. It all comes back to it, doesn't it?
I suppose.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's bus station talk.
Basically. So during the 1960s, Braden was a team leader within MACVSOG, which is a classified commando unit of the Green Berets, which conducted unconventional warfare operations during the Vietnam War.
I actually know a guy who actually was part of the unconventional warfare operations.
Oh, yeah?
And, that guy was fucking wild to talk to.
I believe it.
Yeah, he was a cool dude. He talked about like how he, they would like, because they would have like these like you have like all these different factions of like the NVA, and it would basically make it seem like these villagers were attacking the NVA, like the fucking, like, versus the people who like are like in the part of the country who are just kind of people they give guns to versus the actual army.
Yeah.
And they would make them like have like wars with each other.
Oh.
Like, yeah, dude was a weird guy. He was a cool guy though.
So this man also served as a military skydiving instructor, teaching halo jumping techniques to members of Project Delta. Braden spent 23 months in Vietnam, conducting classified operations within both North and South Vietnam, as well as Laos and Cambodia. In December of 1966, Braden deserted his unit in Vietnam and made his way to the Congo to serve as a mercenary, but only served there a short time before being arrested by CIA agents and taken back to the United States for a court-martial.
Damn, dude.
Despite having committed a capital offense by deserting in wartime, Braden was given an honorable discharge and barred from re-enlisting in the military in exchange for his continued secrecy about the MACVSOG program.
Interesting.
So the government was like, if you don't say anything about the fact that we were, doing some pretty sketchy shit,
yeah,
we'll discharge you honorably. How about that?
Deal.
Like,
Yeah, I'll take that deal, man.
Braden was profiled in the October of 1967 issue of Ramparts magazine, wherein he was described by a fellow Special Forces veteran and journalist, Don Duncan, as being someone with, quote, a secret death wish who, quote, continually places himself in unnecessary danger but always seems to get away with it. Specifically referring to Braden's disregard for military skydiving safety regulations. Duncan also claimed that Braden's time in Vietnam, he was continuously involved in shady deals to make money. Following his military discharge in 1967, the details of Braden's life are largely unknown. But at the time of the hijacking, he was a truck driver for Consolidated Freightways, which was headquartered in Vancouver, Washington, just across the Columbia River from Portland, and not far from the suspected drop zone of Ariel, Washington.
Convenient.
Right? It is also known that in some point in the early 1970s, he was investigated by the FBI for stealing $250,000 during a trucking scam he'd allegedly devised, but was never charged.
Trucking scam?
I don't know what the fuck a trucking
I replaced
scam
all
is.
the trucks with power wheels. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
But also, can you imagine $250,000 in the 1970s to now?
I'll look it up.
That is so much money. That is so much. Oh my God. In 1980, Braden was indicted by a federal grand jury for driving an 18-wheeler full of stolen goods from Arizona to Massachusetts.
1.9 mil.
Oh, God. 1.9 mil. God.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So it's unknown whether there was a conviction in the stolen goods case. But 2 years later, Braden was arrested in Pennsylvania for driving a stolen vehicle with fictitious plates and having no driver's license. Braden eventually ended up being sent to federal prison at some point in the late 1980s, serving time in Pennsylvania, but the crime is unknown for which he was serving. Despite his ability as a soldier, he was not well liked personally and described by a family member as, quote, the perfect combination of high intelligence and criminality. From his time working covert operations in Vietnam, he probably would have possessed the then classified knowledge and ability of proper specifications for jumping from a 727, perhaps having done it himself on MAC via SOG missions. Physically, Braden's military records list him as 5'8", which is shorter than the description of at least 5'10" given by the two flight attendants. But this military measurement would have been taken in his stocking feet, and he may have appeared somewhat taller in shoes. However, he possessed a darker complexion from years of outdoor military service, had short dark hair, medium athletic build, and was 43 years of age at the time of the hijacking, which are all in line with the descriptions of Cooper.
Well, I mean, that's pretty crazy.
That's a pretty good one.
But I mean, he said he was generally well disliked.
Yeah.
Which I don't think, I don't know. I feel like Cooper was pretty suave. I don't really get a lot of suaveness from this guy.
I mean, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I guess if you portray yourself as suave and no one knows who you are, no one knows the things that you've done,
mm-hmm.
maybe you could pull it off.
I definitely don't fart into my hands and smell it. Flight attendant, I'm so suave. Couldn't be me. I didn't shit in first class.
Oh.
Or did I?
I think you did.
No.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me because I didn't do it.
So in 2003, this is a new suspect. In 2003, Minnesota resident Lyle Christensen watched a television documentary about the Cooper hijacking and became convinced that his late brother Kenneth was Cooper. After repeated futile attempts to convince the FBI and author and film director Nora Ephron, he contacted private investigator Skip Portis, in New York City.
His name is Skip Portis. What is he, like a giant fucking like sea animal?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Skip Portis. Detective Skip Portis. I'm to investigate the case.
That is an odd last name, though. I've never heard that last name.
I did it on Portis.
So in 2010, Porteous published a book postulating that Christensen was the hijacker. The following year, an episode of the history series Brad Meltzer's Decoded also summarized the circumstantial evidence linking Christensen to the Cooper case. Christensen enlisted in the Army in 1944 and was trained as a paratrooper. When World War II had ended, World War II had ended by the time that he was deployed in 1945, but he made occasional training jumps while stationed in Japan with occupational forces in the late 1940s. After leaving the Army, he joined Northwest Orient in 1954 as a mechanic in the South Pacific and subsequently became a flight attendant, then purser, based in Seattle. Christensen was 45 years old at the time of the hijacking, but he was shorter, about 5'8". He was thinner, about 150 pounds, lighter in complexion than eyewitness descriptions of Cooper. Christensen did smoke, and he also displayed a fondness for bourbon, which is the type of drink that Cooper had requested. Schaffner told a reporter that photos of Christensen fit her memory of the hijacker's appearance more closely than those of other suspects that she had been shown, but she could not conclusively identify him. Despite the publicity generated by Porteous's book, or Portis, I don't know how the fuck you say it.
Did it on purpose.
And the 2011 documentary, the FBI stands on its position that Christensen cannot be considered a prime suspect.
Just because the FBI said that they're like, we can't confirm whether or not it's actually him, makes me believe that this guy's closer to anybody else.
It literally says that it cites a poor match to eyewitness physical descriptions, but then Schaffner said that fit her memory of the hijacker's appearance more closely than anyone else had.
Yeah, man. I don't fucking, I'm not trusting the FBI for shit.
So the FBI said, nah, I don't think so. Schaffner's like, it literally looks like him. Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Definitely not him. You said he looks like him? Looks just like him? You said that you can almost can smell his fucking breath? That's crazy. No, it's definitely not him.
So our next one is Bryant Jack Kofelt, who was a con man, ex-convict, and purported government informant who claimed to be a chauffeur and confidant of Abraham Lincoln's last undisputed descendant, great-grandson, Robert Todd Lincoln Beckwith. In 1972, he began claiming that he was Cooper and attempted through an intermediary, a former cellmate named James Brown, to sell his story to a Hollywood production company. He said that he landed near Mount Hood, about 50 miles southeast of Ariel, injuring himself and losing the ransom money in the process. Photos of Kofelt bear a resemblance to the composite drawings, although he was in his mid-50s in 1971. He was, however, reportedly in Portland on the day of the hijacking, and did sustain leg injuries around that time, which were consistent with a skydiving mishap.
Well, that's pretty ominous.
That is pretty kind of
connects. Yeah,
I don't know, it's kind of weird. Kofelt's account was reviewed by the FBI, which concluded that it differed in several details from information that had not been made public and therefore was a fabrication. Brown continued peddling the story long after Kofelt died in 1975. Multiple media venues, including the CBS program 60 Minutes, considered it and then rejected it.
Damn.
So this guy may not have been. Probably wasn't.
Probably not.
But
maybe.
I like how he's like, it was me, I did it. I was Cooper.
He's like, prove it wasn't me. Prove it. Can you prove that? Can you prove that it wasn't me?
I mean, you're not telling the same like things as
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was me.
But what about my leg injury though?
My legs. Marty, what do you think?
You can't say that, dude.
Dude, that was super anti-Semitic. Anyway, you can't say that, bro. Holy shit.
So our next one is Lynn Doyle Cooper, or L.D. Cooper. He was a leather worker and Korean War veteran who was proposed as a suspect in July of 2011 by his niece, Marla Cooper. As an 8-year-old, she recalled Cooper and another uncle planning something very mischievous involving the use of expensive walkie-talkies at her grandmother's house in Sisters, Oregon, which is about 150 miles southeast of Portland.
Well, it was mischievous because he kept watching and going, I'm so evil, mischievous planning.
So the next day, Flight 305 was hijacked, and though the uncles ostensibly were turkey hunting, L.D. Cooper came home wearing a bloody T-shirt, the result, he said, of an auto accident. Later, Marla claimed her parents came to believe that L.D. was the hijacker. She also recalled that her uncle, who passed away in 1999, was obsessed with the Canadian comic book hero Dan Cooper and had one of his comic books thumbtacked to his wall. Although he was never a skydiver or a paratrooper. But that's not a big thing, I feel like, at this point, because it's been proven that you don't have to really have the knowledge to land somewhere.
Yeah, you just get in it and just pull a fucking cord and you just hope to God you don't die.
Yeah.
That's it. That's basically that.
Like, there were Cooper copycats, and one of them didn't even know how to get in a parachute.
Yeah, you hear that? One of
survived.
you hear that? One of them was a cat. You hear that shit?
God damn it.
Anybody can fly a parachute. A little cat flew one. It's crazy, dude.
God damn it. So in August of 2011, New York Magazine published an alternative witness sketch reportedly based on the description by Flight 305 witness Robert Gregory, depicting horn-rimmed glasses, a russet-colored suit jacket with wide lapels and marcelled hair. The article observed that L.D. Cooper had wavy hair that looked marcelled. The FBI announced that no fingerprints had been found on a guitar strap made by L.D. Cooper. And a week later, they added that his DNA did not match the partial DNA obtained by from the hijacker's tie, although there's no certainty that the hijacker was the source of the organic material obtained by the tie.
Because they literally were like, is this his tie right here?
Yeah.
Huh. Someone just touch it. It just feels weird to hold, you know?
I think you should put it in your mouth. Just taste it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I ruined all the DNA on that. Yeah, I think so.
Like,
what the fuck are you talking about, FBI? You don't know. I know the feds are watching me, dude, because they're always watching me, dude. You're always watching me, dude. I'm watching you, watch me, watch you,
watching.
dude. Mike Wazowski.
So, like, I don't know. I mean, they were not very cautious with DNA at the time, so it wouldn't be that surprising if they ruined it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like how they were like, is that blood?
No, it's don't.
Like.
Huh? Is this Coke? I'm just gonna hold on. I think this is Coke.
Is Coke?
I don't know. I have to figure it out. You keep doing whatever.
No, it's actually LSD.
It just tastes fucking what Coke. I don't know. It was Coke.
So we are going to talk about another suspect. This one is Barbara Dayton. She was a recreational pilot and University of Washington librarian who was named Robert Dayton at birth. They served in the U.S. Merchant Marine and then the Army during World War II. After discharge, Dayton worked with explosives in the construction field and aspired to a professional airline career, but could not obtain a commercial pilot's license. Dayton underwent gender reassignment surgery in 1969 and changed her name to Barbara. She is believed to be one of the first people to undergo this surgery in Washington state. Mm-hmm. She claimed to have staged the hijacking 2 years later, presenting as a man in order to, quote, get back at the airline industry and the FAA, whose insurmountable rules and conditions had prevented her from becoming an airline pilot. Dayton said that the ransom money was hidden in a cistern near Woodburn, Oregon, which is a suburban area south of Portland. She eventually recanted the entire story, ostensibly after learning that hijacking charges could still be brought. But she also did not match the physical description very close.
She was just like, yeah, I did it, presented as a man, so I could get back at the FAA. And they're like, we can still get you, right? And she's like, I'm just joshing.
I'm just joking. I just thought it'd be funny to make a little joke.
Little hee hee ha ha joke.
Exactly.
Don't fucking arrest me.
William Pratt Gossett is the next one. He was a Marine Corps, Army, and Army Air Force veteran who had military service in Korea and Vietnam. His military experience included jump training and wilderness survival. Gossett was known to be obsessed with the Cooper hijacking. According to Galen Cook, a lawyer who had collected information related to Gossett for years, once claimed he showed his sons a key to a Vancouver, BC safe deposit box, which he claimed contained the long-missing ransom money. The FBI has no evidence implicating Gossett and cannot even reliably place him in the Pacific Northwest at the time of the hijacking. Quote, there's not one link to the D.B. Cooper case other than the statements that Gossett made to someone. So.
Classic.
Lots of people who are just like, I did it. They did not
fucking prove I didn't.
They fucking did not do it.
All right, well.
Let's see. There's a lot. I'm gonna kind of skip through some because we're still pretty far in. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go to Richard McCoy Jr., who was an Army veteran who served two tours of duty. In Vietnam. First as a demolition expert and later with the Green Berets as a helicopter pilot. After his military service, he became a warrant officer in the Utah National Guard and an avid recreational skydiver, with aspirations of becoming a Utah State Trooper. On April 7th, 1972, McCoy had staged one of the best known of the so-called copycat hijackings. Mm-hmm. He boarded United Airlines Flight 855, which was a Boeing 727 with aft stairs, in Denver, Colorado, and brandishing what he later proved to be a paperweight resembling a hand grenade and an unloaded handgun. He demanded 4 parachutes and $500,000. After the delivery of the money and the parachutes at San Francisco International Airport, McCoy ordered the aircraft back into the sky and bailed out over Provo, Utah, leaving behind his written hijacking instructions with his fingerprints on a magazine that he'd been reading. So he was arrested on April 9th with the ransom cash in his possession, and after trial and conviction, received a 45-year sentence. 2 years later, he escaped from Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary with several accomplices, and he crashed a garbage truck through the main gate. Nice. He was tracked down 3 months later in Virginia Beach, and then McCoy was killed in a shootout with the FBI. In their 1991 book, D.B. Cooper, The Real McCoy,
Good?
Yeah.
All right.
Parole officer Bernie Rhodes and former FBI agent Russell Gallamy asserted that they had identified McCoy as Cooper. They cited the obvious similarities between the two hijackings, claims that McCoy's family, that the tie and the mother of pearl tie clip left on the plane belonged to McCoy, and McCoy's refusal to admit or deny that he was Cooper. A proponent of their claim was the FBI agent who killed McCoy. Quote, "When I shot Richard McCoy, I shot D.B. Cooper at the same time."
Damn. That's crazy.
Although there is no reasonable doubt that McCoy committed the Denver hijacking, the FBI doesn't consider him a suspect in the Cooper case because of mismatches in age and description, as well as a level in skill diving.
Skill diving?
Yeah, skill diving. Skydiving skill.
Seems like reading skills are diving.
They are.
Damn. Oh, dude, up top. You even high five like you're autistic.
A level of skydiving skill well above that to be thought possessed by the hijacker. Incredible evidence that McCoy was in Las Vegas on the day of the Portland hijacking and at home in Utah the day after, having Thanksgiving dinner with his family. So they're just two really similar cases.
Yeah.
Two really, like, almost identical cases, but apparently not related.
I like that Sheridan Peterson right there. In a 1971 sketch of Cooper's description, a photo of Peterson from around the same time. Sheridan Peterson served in the Marine Corps during World War II and was later employed as a technical editor at Boeing based in Seattle. Investigators took an interest in Peterson as a suspect soon after the skyjacking because his experience as a smoke jumper and in love of taking physical risk, as well as a similar appearance in age, 44, to the Cooper description. Peterson often teased the media about whether he was really Cooper. Entrepreneur Eric Euless, who spent years investigating crime, said that he was 98% convinced that Peterson was Cooper. But when pressed by the FBI agents, Peterson insisted that he was in Nepal at the time of the hijacking, and he died in 2021. God rest his soul. In an episode of History Channel's History's Greatest Moments, the analysis of DNA found on the tie worn by Cooper indicated that Peterson was not a match for Cooper when compared to DNA samples from one of Peterson's living daughters.
But again, they don't really
They don't fucking know if it was really his DNA. So no one knows, dude.
They don't really know.
Start checking that fucking FBI agent who touched that tie.
Honestly. Let's see here. There's so many. We're going to jump down to Walter R. Rika, something like that.
Got that motherfucking Rika.
He was a former military paratrooper and intelligence operative. He was proposed as a suspect by his friend Carl Lauren in 2018. In 2008, Reka told Lauren via phone call that he was the hijacker. Because, of course, he did.
Well, I mean, that's a casual thing to break up.
Yeah. Like,
well, it's kind of like when I joke that I'm a serial killer and a cult leader to all my friends.
Yeah.
I go like, yeah, I'm a serial killer, obviously. Very funny time to cough. Marty.
I'm sorry, I can't help the coughing.
Marty Cowick.
I got that bronchitis.
Got that motherfucking bronchitis.
Basically. Reka gave Lauren permission in a notarized letter to share his story after death. He also allowed Lauren to tape their phone recordings about the crime over a 6-week period in late 2008. In over 3 hours of recordings, Reka shared details about his version of the hijacking and also confessed to his niece Lisa's story. From tickle in my throat. From Reka's description of the terrain on his way to the drop zone, Lauren concluded that he landed near Cle Elum in Washington. After Reka described an encounter with a dump truck driver at a roadside cafe after he landed, Lauren located Jeff Osiadix Cydex?
Cydex? Oh, Cydex? No, wait.
No.
Hold on. Time out. What the fuck? Oh, Cydex.
Who was driving his dump truck near Clay Alum the night of the hijacking and met a stranger at the Tenaway Junction Cafe just outside of town. The man asked a Cydex.
Mm-hmm. Jeff. Say Jeff. His name is Jeff.
He asked Jeff to give his friend directions to the cafe over the phone, presumably to be picked up, and he complied. Lauren convinced Joe Koenig, a former member of the Michigan State Police, of Rekka's guilt. Koenig later published a book on Cooper titled Getting the Truth. I am D.B. Cooper.
Oh, dude. Getting the truth. I am the Coop man, dude. What's up, dude? I fucking like birds and shit. I'm an avian freak.
Avian fanatic.
Bit of an avian fanatic.
I like birds.
Dude, do you think I can eat this candle, dude?
Do not. Put the candle down. Thank you.
Got wax in my teeth.
Yeah, because it's a candle.
But it's not real.
Yeah, but they're coated in wax.
Oh. You right? Look it.
So the claims have aroused skepticism. Clay Alum is well north and east of Flight 305's known flight path.
Aroused skepticism?
Yeah.
Like, oh, really? I don't believe you. It's aroused skepticism. You know what the fuck I'm talking about, listeners. You know what's up.
It was more than 150 miles north of the drop zone, assumed by most analysts, and even further north from Tina Bar, where a portion of the ransom money was found. Ricka was a military paratrooper and private skydiver with hundreds of jumps to his credit, in contradiction to the FBI's publicized profile of a amateur skydiver at best. Ricka also did not resemble the composite portrait of the FBI that was assembled, which Lauren and Jeff used to explain why Jeff's suspicions were not aroused at the time. In response to the allegations against Ricka, the FBI said that it would be inappropriate to comment on specific tips provided to them, and that no evidence to date had provided the culpability of any suspect beyond a reasonable doubt. Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, Jeff. I keep slinking, just like.
Yeah, you keep sliding.
Yeah.
What's
well,
up
there's
about?
no these. We need to get actual comfortable chairs.
Yeah.
Because these chairs, you just kind of fucking.
You're slipping and sliding. You might want to sit up. You might. No. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. All right. To all our listeners who do not watch the video podcast, he is about halfway off his chair. Is that comfortable for you?
I'm chilling.
Okay.
I'm not chilling. Marty, what do you think? Oh, dude. Just like that, the power of movie magic. I'm back in my seat. Up. Yeah, dude. Pretty cool.
So William J. Smith, in November of 2018, the Oregonian published an article proposing William J. Smith of Bloomfield, New Jersey, as a suspect.
You didn't even say it right. It's Bloomfield, New Jersey.
I can't.
Bloomfield, New Jersey.
I don't have the rasp to my throat that I can
say
Jor.
Jor. C. Now say Bloomfield.
Bloomfield.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah, now say it fast. Bloomfield, New Jersey.
I'm going to cough if I do.
New Jersey. Anyway, the article was based on a research conducted by an Army data analyst who sent his findings to the FBI in mid-2008. Smith, a New Jersey native, was a World War II veteran. After high school, he enlisted in the United States Navy and volunteered for combat aircrew training. After his discharge, he worked with the Lehigh Valley Railroad and was affected by the Penn Central Transportation Company's bankruptcy in 1970 and the largest bankruptcy in the U.S. history at the time, hence the need for money. The article proposed that the loss of his pension created a grudge against the corporate establishment and the transportation field, as well as a sudden need for money. Convenient. Smith was 43 at the time of the hijacking. In his high school yearbook, a list of alumni killed in World War II lists in Ira Daniel Cooper, possibly a source for the hijacker's pseudonym. The analyst claimed that Smith's naval aviation experience would have given him the knowledge of planes and parachutes, and his railroad experience would have helped him find the railroad tracks and hop on a train to escape the area after landing.
I just want to say I also have a grudge against corporate establishment.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing about H.G.O. and the fucking Comcast Network. We're never part of the corporate establishment, dude, because we fired everybody. Hell yeah.
If you want to read the rest, you can.
Oh, sure. According to the analysts, aluminum spiral chips found on the clip-on tie would have come from a locomotive maintenance facility. Smith's information about Seattle area may have come from his close friend Dan Clare, who was stationed at Fort Lewis during the war. The analyst noted that the man who claimed to be Cooper in Max Gunther's 1985 book identified himself as Dan LeClaire. Smith and Clare worked together for Conrail at Newark's Oak Island Yard. Smith retired from the facility as a yard master, which is a pretty cool name, pretty cool title.
Yeah.
The article noted that the picture of Smith on Lehigh Valley Railroad website showed a remarkable resemblance to Cooper FBI sketches. The FBI said that it would be inappropriate to comment on tips related to Smith. Just like how they keep fucking saying, because they fucking know, dude.
They know.
They know. They know.
So we are going to go to Dwayne L. Weber, and then I think that's it. So Dwayne L. Weber was a World War II Army veteran who served time in at least 6 prisons from 1945 to 1968 for burglary and forgery. He was proposed as a suspect by his widow, Jo, based primarily on a deathbed confession. 3 days before he died in 1995, Weber told his wife, "I am Dan Cooper." The name meant nothing to her, she said. But months later, a friend told her of its significance and the hijacking. She went to her local library to research Cooper, found Max Gunther's book, and discovered notations in the margins in her husband's handwriting. Like the hijacker, Weber drank bourbon and chain smoked. Other circumstantial evidence included a 1979 trip to Seattle and the Columbia River, where his wife remembered him throwing a trash bag just upstream of Tina Bar. That's kind of weird.
Well, it's also just the 70s. You just dump your fucking trash wherever you want. It doesn't matter, dude.
They also say that Weber does fit the physical description and does have a criminal background. That Himmelsbach, who's giving the statement, always felt was associated with the case, but he did not believe Weber was Cooper. The FBI eliminated Weber as an active suspect in July of 1998 when his fingerprints did not match any of those processed in the hijacked plane, and no other direct evidence could be found to implicate him. Later, his DNA also failed to match the samples recovered from Cooper's tie. But again, they don't even know.
They don't even fucking know, dude.
They don't even fucking know. We kind of talked about
the other hijackings that occurred. Yeah, just briefly talked. I mean, we could go into various detail and what Taylor's notes are, but I mean, you got the general need of it.
Yeah, there were 5 copycat hijackings. We covered 3, but yeah, there's.
I don't think Cooper would have done it again.
Honestly, probably not. I still like the one who just went into the forest and just fucking landed in there and then was like, yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
It's pretty good.
So We're going to talk about the aftermath of Cooper and everything that's happened since that.
May I? So for airport security, despite the initiation of the federal Sky Marshal program the previous year, 31 hijackings were committed in U.S. airspace in 1972. 19 of them were for the very specific purpose of extorting money, obviously. 15 of the extortion cases, hijackers demanded parachutes. In the early 1973, the FAA began requiring airlines to search all passengers and their bags. Amid multiple lawsuits charging for that such persons violated the Fourth Amendment prosecutions against search and seizure, federal courts ruled that they were acceptable when applied universally when limited to searches for weapons and explosives. Only 2 hijackings were attempted in 1973, both by psychiatric patients. One hijacker, Samuel Bike, I believe I'm saying that right, intended to crash airliner into the White House to kill President Nixon.
Nixon did not have a lot of friends.
No, there's lots of reasons for that. Well, a lot of Nixon haters on this show.
We just covered,
the greatest bank heist in history.
Yeah.
But the one that we were talked about, Marty talked about last week, is that due to the copycat hijackings in 1972, the FAA required that the exterior of all Boeing 727 aircraft be fitted with a spring-loaded device, later dubbed the Cooper vane, that prevents the lowering of the aft air stairs during flight. The device consists of a flat tube of an aluminum pointed on a pivot, which is spring-loaded to stay out of the way of the door when the craft is at rest, but aerodynamically rotates in a position to prevent the door from being open when the plane is traveling at flight speeds. Operation of the vane is automatic and cannot be overridden within the aircraft. As a direct result of hijacking, the installation process of peepholes was mandated in all cockpits. This enables the cockpit crew to observe passengers without opening the cockpit door. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And you're probably wondering, what happened to the airplane of November 467 Uniform Sierra, U.S.? For those people out there. The aircraft involved in the 1972 hijacking in service with Piedmont Airlines in 1979. In 1978, the hijacked 727-100 aircraft was sold by Northwest Orient to Piedmont Airlines, where it was re-registered as November 838 November and continued in domestic air carrier services. In 1984, it was purchased by the charter company Key Airlines, re-registered again to November 29 Kilo Alpha, and incorporated into the Air Force's civilian airline charter fleet that shuttled workers from between Nellis Air Force Base and the Tonopah Test Range during the F-117 Nighthawk development program, which is very fucking cool. That's Air 51 if you don't know. By the way, isn't that cool? And in 1996, the aircraft was scrapped for parts at a Memphis aircraft boneyard. Adios, aircraft.
Yeah.
Should at least kept it, man.
I know. You feel like they would have put it in like a museum or something. That would have been cool for them to have at the Air Museum in McMinnville.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been cool. Just even like a piece of it.
Yeah.
Neat. That would have been so fucking cool. Because that's like where the spruce goose and everything is too.
Yeah, dude.
That would have been neat.
It's not even a goose. It's just a whole plane.
So.
Yeah. Come on, man.
I laughed.
I'm so funny. Laugh at me. Laugh at me.
With you or at you?
Whatever.
So, in part of this story, Earl J. Cossey, who is the one who packed the 4 parachutes that were given to Cooper, passed away on April 23rd of 2013.
Hey, bless up.
He was found in his home in Woodinville, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle. His death was ruled a homicide due to blunt force trauma to the head, and the perpetrator still remains unknown. Some commenters allege possible links to the Cooper case, but authorities responded that they have no reason to believe that any such link exists.
Jesus, man, the guy got fucking murdered?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Woodinville officials later announced that burglary was likely the motive for the crime. So, he unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, and they do not know who did it.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit of popular culture information about DB Cooper. You know that there's a DB Cooper con?
I did not. That is very, very cool.
There's an annual convention known every year as CooperCon, which is held in late November in Vancouver. So I know where we're going in November.
I'm looking it up right now.
The event is founded by Cooper research Eric Ulis, and that was started in 2018. It's a multi-day gathering of Cooper researchers and enthusiasts. CooperCon took place at the annual DB Cooper Days, which ended when the the owner of Ariel Store Pub passed away, and the pub was forced to close. So, I don't know. I think we should go to CooperCon, and if any of y'all are going to be at CooperCon.
Hey, check out our panel at CooperCon 2023 this year. We're very excited to be guests. I figured out how to announce it now. I'm just kidding. I have no fucking idea. I mean, listen, CooperCon, if anybody who works for CooperCon and they want to have us as guests, fucking go for it, dude. I'll come up there and I'll make 20 minutes of dick jokes. I don't care. Whatever you want from me. Be like, oh, Cooper left his side. What a fucking idiot. Let's piss on him. You know, I don't know. What do you want from me?
But yeah, like there's a bunch of like restaurants and bowling alleys in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, like what I talked about, Victor 23.
Yeah,
Victor 23 out there in Vancouver, Washington. Go give them some love. I love those guys. I used to live really close to them, so I used to go to them a lot.
Yeah,
fucking love that place. Some of the best beer and the best food, probably within Vancouver.
Yeah,
like without a shadow of a doubt, love it. It's the best.
That's what we got.
That's what you got. That's
it. There's no conclusion to the story. They still don't know who did it.
Yeah, how you feel listening? We just blue balled the fuck out of you, dude. What are you gonna do now?
I bet y'all were hoping that there was an ending. There fucking wasn't. Nope, you get nothing.
Yeah, dude.
So
let's get a whole lot of bullshit, dude. CooperCon 2023. Check us out, the HGO panel. I'm just kidding. I don't fucking know. I'm down to go.
That'd be kind of fun.
Speaking of which, I looked at my watch. My watch isn't right there.
It's probably on your desk.
Pretend my watch is on.
Yeah.
Right about now, McMinnville is doing their UFO Fest.
Oh.
I believe it's going on currently. So by the time this episode goes up, I think it's probably their last day. But go check it out. I wanted to go this year.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going on.
It's because you're not part of you're part of the fucking hive mind, dude. And I'm out here. I'm a real one, dude. You don't fucking know, dude. I'm always out here watching, brother.
Oh.
Dab me up.
I don't know what's happening.
Dab me up, dude. You don't even fucking know.
I don't
If you had fun watching and listening to this week's episode, be sure to rate us 5 stars in your listening app, please. I'll give you a big old kiss right on the lips. I'll make it weird. Anyway, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the business. I feel like I don't have to even fucking tell you. It's what every podcast does and every YouTube platform does. Like, share, subscribe. But hey, please give us a rating on, rate us 5 stars, because I would love it if you did that. Burping, as per usual. New episode of The Doctors came out. Go check it out. We're trying to get back into the loop of things of recording, but like I said, we lost almost all of our files for the doc. We don't know where they went. So
that's fucking
crazy. Pretty shitty. But go check it out. It's gonna be it's a very fun episode. Doing it. Sleep of Old Dominion is very, very cool. And what else was I gonna say? Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at HGOPodcast and Haunts, Graves, and Omens. You want to tell us something? Tell us a story? Tell us something crazy that you know about? Are you DB Cooper? Have you seen a ghost? Have you seen an alien? Have you had relations with a skinwalker? Let us know. HGOPodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow my ass directly, my beautiful craziness, follow me at iHuntTheHaunted on Instagram. Okay? Or in TikTok if you want. It's up to you. I don't really post a lot of shit on TikTok. But you can follow me on Instagram because I be out there. It's crazy. Now go.
Hi, I am on Instagram and TikTok at Lunar Thrill. I don't post a whole lot, but I'm going to try and change that. Maybe, hopefully, if I can remember to post.
Yeah. And Marty Cowick. You can follow me at Ghetto Feather on Instagram. Foolish mortal.
Marty sounds different.
Yeah, I think he's sick.
Yeah, probably.
But until next week, stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And I know where DB Cooper's money is. I'm not telling. Oh. I'm not.
Oh.
You can follow me at you can follow me at Ghetto Feather. You can follow me at Lunar Thrill. You can follow me at the Motherfuckers Apocalypse. You can follow my new band, the Death of You on Facebook, and send me Instagram. You can follow me at the Turn of the Grave. You can follow me.